What is empathy? According to Wikipedia, empathy is the capacity to understand or feel what another person is experiencing from within their frame of reference, that is, the capacity to place oneself in another's position. So it means understanding how someone else feels, acknowledging their suffering, and seeing things from their point of view. Well, empathy is often celebrated as a cornerstone of human connection and compassion. However, like any powerful force, it has potential side effects. Therefore, in this video, we delve into the side effects of empathy. So, let's begin. Side effect number 1. It can lead to emotional exhaustion. Empathy is generally considered a positive trait, but excess of anything can be harmful, and empathy is no exception. Excessive empathy can harm an individual's mental and emotional well-being. This condition is known as empathy overload, when someone consistently experiences overwhelming empathy for others, leading to emotional exhaustion and burnout. For instance, consider Robbie, a dedicated nurse working in an emergency room. He deeply cares for his patients and shares in their suffering. However, he often finds himself overwhelmed by their pain, eventually experiencing emotional exhaustion. This empathy overload can result in burnout, impacting his ability to provide the best care. Side effect number 2. Experiencing compassion fatigue. Compassion fatigue is a classic side effect of empathy. Well, but what is it? It is a condition where individuals experience emotional and physical exhaustion as a result of consistently providing support and care to others, particularly in challenging or traumatic situations. Let's take the example of Mark, a therapist who primarily works with trauma survivors. Mark possesses the admirable ability to empathize deeply with his clients. However, over time, he began to experience compassion fatigue. The constant absorption of his clients' pain left him emotionally drained, significantly affecting his overall mental well-being. Side effect number 3. The blurring of personal boundaries. Empathy is a valuable trait, but it can sometimes make it challenging to differentiate between our own emotions and those of others. Setting personal boundaries can become complicated when we become overly entangled in someone else's emotions and problems. This can affect our mental well-being and the choices we make. Consider Kate, who became deeply engrossed in her friend Anna's relationship problems to the point where she lost sight of her own life. Unknowingly, Kate became entangled in Anna's emotional struggles, making it hard to distinguish where her feelings ended and Anna's began. She carried Anna's emotional burden even when they were apart, which took a toll on her mental well-being. Side effect number 4. Influence on decision-making. Empathy can significantly impact decision-making. Let's explore this with an example. Imagine a manager named Tim who consistently empathizes deeply with his team members. While this empathetic nature fosters a positive work environment, however, it can also pose challenges in decision-making. Tim may struggle to make tough decisions, such as layoffs. His intense emotional attachment to his team members can make it difficult for him to arrive at decisions without bias. Side effect number 5. Experiencing immense stress. When people often share their pain, and empathetic individuals continually take in this emotional distress, it can lead to stress. Carrying the emotional weight of others can be emotionally exhausting and overwhelming. Picture two close friends, Jimmy and Kim. Jimmy is going through a breakup, and Kim deeply empathizes with his feelings of sadness and heartache. Kim spends hours listening to Jimmy's struggles and offering emotional support, striving to understand and share his pain. As time goes on, Kim realizes that he is feeling emotionally drained. He's not just carrying his emotional burden, but also the weight of his friend's suffering. In this scenario, Kim's empathy for Jimmy's pain leads to stress, as he becomes an integral part of the emotional experience. Side effect number 6. Unsuccessful conflict resolution. While empathy is generally seen as a positive force, especially in conflict resolution, it can also hinder the process. It can make individuals afraid to confront and resolve conflicts, fearing they may upset others or worsen the situation. Let's consider the example of Jordan and Joe, colleagues who recently had a heated argument about a critical project. Jordan empathizes with Joe, understanding the immense pressure he is under. However, this excessive empathy prevents Jordan from addressing the core issues, as he is concerned that doing so might hurt Joe's feelings or intensify the conflict. Consequently, instead of addressing the underlying problems, they avoid the conversation, allowing the conflict to continue without resolution. Side effect number 7. Bias and impact on diversity. Too much empathy can sometimes harm diversity and inclusion efforts, because it makes people favor those similar to them, further accidentally excluding or disadvantaging others. Uneven empathy can lead to bias and favoritism. Here's an example to illustrate this point. Marcella resides in a diverse neighborhood with people from various backgrounds. She tends to show excessive empathy toward her neighbor, Mark, due to their similar backgrounds, experiences, or interests. Marcella is always quick to help Mark, but doesn't offer the same assistance to neighbors outside her close-knit group. She shows favoritism towards Mark and assumes that others can find help elsewhere. So, here we are at the end of the video. Empathy is a powerful human trait that fosters connection and compassion. However, it also carries potential side effects that can affect a person's mental and emotional well-being and influence decision-making. So, it is essential to understand these side effects to maintain a healthy balance while effectively supporting others. Empathy is powerful, but using it well requires being mindful and balanced. So, if you found this video insightful, please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more thought-provoking content.